What's up, y'all? Come on in, comment, give me your perspective. What's up, everybody? We're gonna get straight to it. Give me some comments. Let me know y'all can see me, y'all can hear me, and all that other good stuff while I'm trapped in the RV. Let's see what's going on. Give me some comments. Let me see if I can see them, guys. Let's back this up a little bit. What's up, guys? You guys already know it's 26. Every folks hit the live button. Please share it all over the place. Keimer Shadow says I was in the middle of watching your video. Appreciate that, man. Hey, listen, guys. Tonight's stream is primarily based on that situation we just saw with Zelensky and all of them. Like, oh look, the premium Wi-Fi, right? Look. I used my phone today instead of the. I used the regular phone instead of the computer. So, shouts to Apple. I know they like fucked up on certain levels, but they make superior products. So guys, we got a goal for the chat. If you get some value from this today, please donate towards the work. Either do a super chat, regardless of where you're watching. I think this is streaming also to Rumble and X. If you are on those platforms, if you're on X, subscribe. It's like $2 a month. It helps out a whole lot. Thanks, Corey. I appreciate that. If you're watching this on any of the other platforms, givesendgo.com/solutionary. If you're watching on YouTube, do a super chat. If you got somebody that is doing some good business, some good community work, somebody that you know, a website, or organization, a person, if they doing that, put their name in the donor section, and I'll make sure when you do the super chat, I'll make sure I do it up there. So obviously, guys, we just saw what happened, with Zelensky over there in the White House. I'm going to give a backdrop, and I want to hear everybody's perspective. Super Weapon says, what's your daily fundraising goal during the 90-day exodus? Actually, I thought about that, and it was like, I don't really have a daily goal. Maybe we should have one. Maybe like 2,500. Y'all tell me what y'all think that daily goal should be. But fundraising is difficult, guys, because I've been called a lot of things, but since raising and giving away money, I've never been called a grifter more than anything from doing the work that y'all have seen me do for years. But nonetheless, I try not to hit y'all with too many fundraising, things. I would love to just get this knocked out. That is the most difficult part of the job. But anyway, guys, please share the live all over the place. Whichever way you're watching it, whichever way you tapped in, please help boost the signal by sharing the show all over the place. Again, if you're watching it on X, just do a quick moment, and just hit the repost or just a quote post and tell folks to tap in. All right, so obviously everyone knows that Ukraine and Russia are at war. Today, President Trump invited Zelensky to the White House, did some content on it. Benny Lee says the fuck is a grifter. I'm gonna do some content on that, and I'll do some Q&A at the end of this too. But let's it's a long conversation, but nonetheless, Zelensky's there. President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance are there. And the conversation is about how can we get this peace deal made, this peace agreement, or at least this ceasefire. And it was going good based on what I was seeing. It was going good. And Trump is saying, I guess one of the reporters asked, as it relates to how are we going to get this deal done, and Trump in essence said, listen, it's going to be more difficult for us to get this deal done when Zelensky hates Putin, Putin hates him, and they're at war, and both sides have seen casualties, so they're not going to be the best of friends, right? And that's me paraphrasing. And in that process, Zelensky kind of goes left. He goes left in what he said, and I want to be objective. If nothing else, solutionaries, I want everybody to remember, as a solutionary, our job is to be objective. We have no attachment to anything other than making sure that human life is respected, objectivity is maintained, and our constitutional values are protected. It's not about, whether you are pro-Trump and fuck everybody else, because that's not the way, because Trump is going to be out of office in a couple of years, right? It's not about I'm immediately on the left and I don't listen to anybody else. That's not the way we do it as Americans. And I think we've gotten far away from that. And in getting far away from that, we're getting the people arguing against like things that just the standard that for 100, 200 years, everybody knew to be true. War is bad. We should not be all over the place in war. We should not have this massive level of debt. The founders knew, hey, don't centralize the money supply, so forth and so on. So we're getting to this space where people are not having conversations from a balanced and objective space. It's more about owning the other side as opposed to, talking about what actually works. So this happens. Trump is saying the peace thing, the peace thing, the peace thing. Zelensky taps in. And when Zelensky taps in, it's hey, well, since 2014, Russia was invading Ukraine. And that's kind of a misnomer the way he said it. Crimea, that issue with Crimea around that time when Obama was in office, that was a thing for sure. And I don't want to be disrespectful to any lives lost. I see. What's up? Hey, how are you? Big Rob, what's up? Big Rob said, I think his body language was just as disrespectful as his words. Um, and it was. I mean, as a person that, when you start reading for pre-fight indicators, when you start training in firearms and things of that nature, or just fights in general, you pay attention to people's body language, their hands, especially on the demographic. If black dudes start pulling up their pants with aggressive statements, then, you might be in danger. My point is, his body language was bad. And he continues to say, 2014, Russia went into Ukraine. That was under Obama, and Trump jumped in and said, "Hey, that wasn't me. I wasn't even the president then, right?" And the point that Zelensky was, in all honesty, in my opinion, as an objective viewer of the situation, he was trying to say, you guys have talked to Putin before, and he hasn't had respect for the deals in place. And he went on to explain, we sat down with Macron, with myself, with Putin, and he still did the Crimea thing regardless. And I get that's where he was trying to go. However, when you're in the moment where right now we're talking about a peace situation and you bring up those things, and then almost kind of like asking JD Vance, like, well, what diplomacy are you talking about? Because since 2014, what's up, Bookworm? Since 2014, we haven't had any peace. And that's the wrong way to come in. Zelensky came in hot, and JD Vance responded in kind. Look, I'm talking about the type of diplomacy that's going to save your country. And I mean, that's a mic drop moment right there that Zelensky's supposed to recognize and kind of like, yo, let me fall back. And, or at least, repackage how you send in that energy and those words, right? Big Rob just said at one point Trump actually pushed Zelensky, not a full shove, but hand on shoulder. It was on some bang shit. It was on some, do you feel you're in charge? It was that type of shit. But this is after Zelensky came through spicy. Zelensky is not in a position to argue. Maybe when the world was buying it, when the leader of the free world, meaning the United States government, or the commander in chief was Joe Biden, and he was his guide, and the rest of the world, as weak as Biden was, he's still the president of the most powerful military force in the world, commander in chief. But this ain't then. And so he brings these things up. JD Vance gives him some pushback. Zelensky goes harder. Zelensky says, all of these other things. And Trump is like, listen, bro, you in the White House. This ain't really a what happened in the past situation. We are here to have a conversation about, how we can move forward. Zelensky, to Brothers Keepers. Zelensky jumps in there again and goes, well, you've got your ocean separating us, but in the future, y'all might feel this type of thing too. And Trump had to tell him, like, listen, bro, don't tell us how the fuck we're going to deal with it. We have zero fucks to give. We brought this cup out specifically for that. Trump pulled up with a cup of, we got zero fucks to give, but we given them because we care and we want to see peace. And that is effective leadership. I got issues with Trump on his weak approach to the Second Amendment on his first term. I have issues with Trump with a lot of other things. I think too much of his cabinet. And again, I'm Monday morning quarterbacking because I'm not involved in international politics and I'm not in that seat. So I'm sharing with you all my perspective. Again, to everybody that's just coming in, hit the like button, share it, repost it, boost the signal. Okay. But in that process, again, we're solutionaries. We are objective. Our job is to say what's happening and what's not happening. And in this instance right here, Trump and Vance ain't wrong here. They ain't. Listen, this United States government under weak and feckless leadership gave you 350 billion with a B, right? And Trump alluded to that. He ain't even alluded to it. He just straight up said it. He straight up said it. Yo, our stupid president then gave you 350 million. You should be a little bit thankful. We trying to stop the death. Everybody knows that that Putin is taking it lightly. The fact that Kiev is still standing and not a pile of rubble looking like some of the other parts of Ukraine, not a pile of rubble looking like fucking Palestine is, and it don't got to be righteous reasons. Maybe Putin's like, we ain't gonna fuck Kiev too much up because when we take the country, we don't want to have to rebuild Kiev, right? 350 billion. We gave you that. Putin ain't destroy you. And Trump says, if you play this right, you can get out of this pretty okay. And it was 1,000% correct. But fucking Zelensky continues. He continues, goes on, and Vance jumped in. And let me take a sidebar real quick, y'all. The fact that JD Vance stepped up, it's like having the shooter. If you the kingpin, okay? If you the kingpin and you got some wild shooters around that could get busy for you, they jump out there and they do the shooting when necessary. That's exactly what JD Vance, he was shooting with them words today. Unlike last Vice President Pence, when he was having conversations, Pence would just shut up and be quiet when people was in that Oval Office sounding a little, disrespectful. Okay? Let's just be clear. There's a clear-cut difference between this vice president and that vice president. And even with the actions around the election, Mike Pence was never really the homie. And I love that Trump picked somebody, a young, wild shooter, right? Literally. JD Vance is a Second Amendment guy. He's a shooter. My point in saying this is I loved every bit of that section. But this all was the fault of our goofy government at the time that had financial and political interest or leadership at that time, meaning the Biden administration. And because I can't even go as far back as Obama. I'm not tonight going to make that same mistake that Zelensky made, going all the way back 11 years to 2014 with Obama. 14 and 15, Obama's on his way out. It's his second term. Listen, bro, they on a money run. They playing a money run. If you got hit for the money run and your country got tagged, I get you. But this is an opportunity right now with this moment in the White House after you campaigned for Joe Biden. Zelensky flew to Pennsylvania, in my state, campaigned for Joe Biden because he thought Biden was going to win and that money trail was going to keep coming. And in doing so, you still get the invite to the White House. Let's figure this out. If he handles that 1,070% better today, he's able to leave with the money. He's able to leave with some sort of dignity. He can say, listen, we at an impasse. We can't win. The political tide has changed. And these are the things that we got to do to move forward. The international community, global community respects that. His folks and the people that are dying in Ukraine would have to respect that. And it is what it is. Super Weapons with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Super Weapon says, people's TDS is so severe that people can't recognize him trying to actually broker peace, but will stand 10 toes deep on the continual international bloodshed. These are you, and that's 1,000% correct. Guys, we got a super chat goal, I think, of $200 or $250, whatever it is. Guys, please, let's get 10 folks at the $20 level, whatever that number is, whatever that math is. Thank you for that, Super Weapons. Again, everybody, your super chats go towards our work. I'm trapped. If you guys can see, I'm in the RV, trapped in the RV for 90 days, or until we hit this goal. We need, I think, maybe 425 more donors at the $100 level, and we'll be done. We have a $75,000 donor match, and we can be done with fundraising. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Fundraising is like the fucking hardest thing in the world. If you didn't know, I'm in the RV and I'm trapped in here because I'm trying to stay focused and disciplined and focused only on content, only on creating a stronger, classes and curriculums for the website and getting this fundraising goal. So guys, your super chats help a lot. Okay. And if you have a business, know somebody that has a business, know somebody that's doing good work, their social media handle, their website, put that in your comment with the super chats as well. Okay. So saying that to say, right? You as Zelensky start to believe your own script. If y'all didn't know, how many people in here didn't know that what's his name? Uh Zelensky is an actual actor. Like no bullshit, like a belly dancing actor. I'm not saying that to be funny or like make fun of him. Right? I don't want to make fun of anybody that's in the middle of a fucking war. Being in a few shootouts myself, I can't imagine the level of destruction. I've never been to that type of war. I've never been to that type of war, and I have zero fucking interest in being in it, being around that shit. Anybody that's a gun owner that's had bullets coming both ways, whizzing past your fucking head, you are a person that's looking. Hey, I would prefer not. You know? No, Bookworm says I always thought that was AI with him belly dancing. No, that's not AI. He was actually like an actor and a dancer. So like he's believing his script. He's like Tupac was not this gangster dude all of the time. Tupac picked up on the Bishop from Juice role and continued to stay in that role until his untimely murder. Okay? And I think Zelensky, by having the last few years of the international community taking the role that the American government, the most powerful military in the world, is behind this dude, we're going to get behind him too. And Russia's evil, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is not me saying that Putin's a killer. Let's be very fucking clear. Bookworm said, hold up, not too much boot on my boo Tupac. Be very clear. Putin is a killer. There's like no doubt about that. Putin has got, I don't know, untold amounts of money in Bitcoin, and like people come up missing fucking with Putin. So we're not gonna act like that's not what it is. But the reason why this is important is to say this is because politics, geopolitics, local politics, to a certain extent, more specifically international politics, is just like the street. It's just like the street. It's just bigger guns, potentially more death and more money, more zeros behind them numbers. That's all. That's all. Super Weapons with the $5 super chat as well said Trump is better than me. I'd have sent Zelly gift wrapped Putin like in the Dark Knight if it meant keeping the peace on a global scale. Now let me tell you why you can't play it that way. Because the international community is coming around to like, hey, we need to cease fire in the war. There's conversations now with America under Trump in this second administration, in a little over a month. There's conversations about saying, hey, let's stop with the nuclear war. Let's put our nuclear wars down and let's work on nuclear power. We're talking about China and Russia. America is in those talks. So the international community is coming around. If you just zip fucking Zelensky up and send him to Putin, you lose some of the good nature and goodwill that the international community is with. You see what I'm saying? And that's not a thing that we want to do. When you're strong, you try to negotiate for peace. I walk around with a gun all the time. All the time. And in the process of me walking around with that firearm, I'm looking for peace in every scenario. Somebody step on my foot, and even if I think it's intentional, I'm going, oh damn, my fault, bro. My fault, bro. I know I could clear the garment and put rounds center mass, 3 of them at least, 2 maybe on a bad day. I know I can get that, clear that garment, get a good purchase, get a good grip, line them. And if you're too close, I ain't even got to worry about lining the sights up. We point and shoot, right? I 1000% know that I can do that, but I'm not trying to do that. And if we take that same approach as it relates to international politics, which we should, you know, we need to do that. James A with the super chat says, I'm giving you part of the money I would use for protein shakes. I got nothing to ask. I just want to support. Hey, I appreciate you, James A, for that. That's a hell of a sacrifice, bro. Giving up the protein shake money is a big deal, and we appreciate it. Matter of fact, James, I don't know if you doing this from YouTube. Send me a message or comment, James, or after the stream is over, I'll make sure to give you a link to get some protein from my guys over at First Form. Thank you for that $20. I don't know where we are on the goal of this, but of the super chat goal, but whatever. So I thank you for that, James. De-escalation is the way. We teach this in our firearms basics class and our understanding imminent threat class. In the streets, in individual situations, it's the same way with like fucking international politics. And I love that these brothers today were strong, in unison, wasn't overdoing it, and checked certain things. Because you got to remember, if them cameras is on and Zelensky's in the middle of a war with Russia, and we trying to broker a peace deal, the whole world is watching. We can't look weak. We can't look weak. We are diplomatic and we are peace seeking, but don't get us fucked up. We will fuck you up. And the way that America fucks Ukraine up and Zelensky is just tapping out. Ironically, on the world stage, now Zelensky looks like the fool. Zelensky looks like the fool. You showed up. Somebody gave you 350 billion. And JD Vance brought this up. He said, you campaigned for the other guy, in essence. This is the leadership now. And you're in the Oval White House being disrespectful. And he was 1000% correct. And this wasn't because like Trump and Vance tried to get him to the White House to ambush him. That's not what it was. The energy wasn't that until he made it that. And it's just what it is. He campaigned for the ops. He campaigned for the ops. And they saw it and still said, look, we got a bigger thing at hand. There are European nations. We gave up 350. I say we. I didn't put a fucking dollar in, right? Nobody in this chat put in a dollar. But what we did do as American taxpayers, our resources were sent over there, and the price of fucking eggs, the price of this goddamn chocolate bar is up because the economy done went through inflation, hyperinflation, and damn near stagflation. Okay? So the American people are like, hey, this can come to an end. And since this can come to an end, why not let it come to an end? And I love that President Trump said, let it play out. And when Vance said, you're trying to litigate this, instead of us having this conversation about peace, you're trying to litigate this in front of the American media, and it's just not cool. So we can't let that shit slide. I'm telling y'all, when I tell y'all every hood, and when I say hood, I don't mean black, I don't mean white. I mean, if you are a motherfucking person that don't live in a rich mansion, you probably live in a hood. It's not a diss to say that, okay? Every hood across America needs to see that type of engagement, because that's what the founders of America were. Hood dudes that linked up in Philly and was like, yo, fuck this. Argued around issues, struggled around it, created something, pushed back, tried to go peace, and then the ops or King George and the British wouldn't let him. You got to remember, okay, guys, the civics is important and politics is important. And I'm bringing this back to a point, right? Everyday Americans needed to see this because of the fact that you need to be involved in everyday politics, because it's more of that. When them cameras is off, it's more of what we saw today than this hoity-toity, fake pageantry, fake diplomacy shit. Politics and diplomacy, right, is how we strive, but war is when diplomacy ceases. Okay? So we need to always extend our hand and try to do that, because the deal was set. For those of y'all that may not know, the deal was set. Zelensky in Ukraine is going to give some of those mineral resources. Now, I'm a little skeptical about that, because some of the mineral-rich territories in Ukraine ain't necessarily in Ukraine. Like, it's like on the border type Ukraine shit. So I need to do a little bit more research on that. But nonetheless, the deal was set. You guys are going to pay us back that 350 in mineral resources. We tell our homie Putin over here, listen, bro, you got to stall him out, Debo. Stall him out, Debo. Stall him out. He can't win. Stall him out. You do that a little bit, all right, cool. Because again, this all started because Putin had very simple and clear perspective for the international community. I know what you're doing with the money laundering in Ukraine. I don't give a fuck. But stop trying to, okay, Ukraine's separated from Russia, because some of y'all folks may not be aware. All right? Some of y'all may not be aware. Ukraine at a certain point was a part of Russia. Kiev has been a part of Russia for a bajillion fucking years. So I'm not, as Putin, I'm not going to go take the motherfuckers all the way back. I'm not going to do that. However, stop trying to flank me and stop trying to get Ukraine to be a part of NATO. You can't separate from Mother Russia, the bosom of Mother Russia, and then try to go lean on the international community for NATO when NATO fronting like it's a peacekeeping mission, when in reality they doing they dirt as well. You feel me? Hotep History says, salute on your lock in January. We're going to make sure this arc of our work makes it to the history books. I appreciate you, my brother. Hey, everybody go follow and subscribe to Hotep History. Make sure that y'all looking at them Hotep History stories, man. They're amazing stories. Amazing stories. Thank you for that super chat too, for the $5 for that Hotep History. So this ain't Putin just being like, fuck them. And even though he could have. But, okay, cool. I won't go take that back. Okay, because let's not act like Putin doesn't have a stellar understanding of Russian and world history. If you go on YouTube, there's one interview where he ran down like 200-300 years of Russian history. Putin knows his fucking country. Okay? And this is why I'm saying average hood dudes, all of us, dudes and dudettes, we need to get on that American history shit. We need to get on that Hotep history shit. We need to get on that civics shit. That's why we teach a civics class. So Putin knows his history. Putin says it's cool. I ain't really going to trip too much. I ain't going to trip too much. Stop flanking me and stop trying to get Ukraine into NATO. Obama, the Crimea thing in 2014 that, what's his name? Zelensky was trying to bring in, right? Bring up today. All right, cool. The Crimea thing, cool. I feel him. But that wasn't the time for that. It just wasn't the time for it. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. It wasn't the time for it. It wasn't. I'm sorry. People can feel how they want to feel about me saying that, but to me, it just wasn't the time. And did I leave my charger joint in there? It wasn't the time for it. And since it wasn't the time for it, he shouldn't have brought it up. But he did. Okay? And in the process of him bringing that up, okay, cool, let's go through that. 2014, that was Obama. Cool. Trump gets in, going in 15, gets in 16. Trump say, all right, cool, I'm gonna send you some javelins to push back against the tanks in Crimea or whatever other part, right? Then 16 happened. Trump in there. Listen, bro, you gotta chill. Putin chills. Why? Because Trump was like, all right, cool, we're not gonna push for Ukraine to get in the fucking NATO. And I'm definitely not gonna try to push for Ukraine to get into NATO because the leftists, Hunter Biden, let's not forget the Burisma shit. This all shit is all connected, bro. I know I sound like the crazy conspiracy theorist, but this time thing, time is interconnected, right? So, all right, cool. We ain't gonna do that. Does Putin invade Russia, Ukraine when Trump's in? No, he doesn't. They cheat. 2020 get around. 4 years past. 2020 get around. They cheat. Biden get in. Hunter Biden is already, back and forth, had dealings in Ukraine. That's where the money laundering is happening. Biden want his 10% to increase 10% for the big guy. Y'all remember that, right? So they say, fuck it. They put the battery in Zelensky's back. Man, that motherfucker, he can't. You know what I mean? I can't. He ain't got nothing on you. We gonna back you. Because they want to launder more money. Zelensky starts smelling himself. He got the uniform. He got the costume on. He think the script. He Tupac. Now he think he Bishop in real life. Because the international community was supporting it because the most powerful USAID funded situation was the Biden administration, the United States government, and they behind him. It's a new motherfucking day, though. It's a new motherfucking day. And this is not me saying it like the United States government has been great and all of that other type of vibe. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we tired. The American public is just tired. You had COVID. You got masks. You got horrible economy. Now with Elon and them exposing all of the waste and fraud, even down to the 350. Last week, Zelensky said that 175 Half of that ain't even get to us. We don't know where it's at. We don't know where it's at. So the American public is tired and the general public, though international community is like, you can't win. First, y'all tried to isolate Russia with the sanctions. Their GDP and their economy got stronger. Then BRICS shows up. So now they're like, all right, we ain't gonna do business that much with the countries that don't want to. We're gonna do with BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, right? We're gonna do that. The economy gets stronger. It didn't work. You guys thought it was gonna work. It didn't work. You still alive, Zelensky. You got the 350. It's done. Let's end it. That person should have said. Let's get it. Bookworm said 48 people watching. Let's get the likes up, solutionaries. Everybody on YouTube, please hit the like button. Everybody watching this, whatever platform you're watching it from, share it and or hit that like button. Help boost the algorithm. All right. So the international community, like, look, it's cool. There are no permanent friends. There are no permanent enemies. Just permanent interests. We didn't take Russia out. Trump back in there. It's time. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. But Zelensky, the same person that everybody was like, Trump and Putin is a threat to democracy. Zelensky says, I ain't even going to have no motherfucking elections. I'm not giving no elections in the middle of the war. Why? Because Zelensky's now turned into a little dictator. He's believing the script. He's wearing the costume everywhere. Don't even know how to change it to a suit. They clowned him at the White House today about that shit. Listen, I'm trapped in the RV. Y'all see me most times with t-shirts, jeans. I'm in here. I ain't shaved in a month, right? But let me, after we've raised this goal, y'all never see me go to CPAC not shaven, hair done, nice suit, custom, tailored. The uniform and the clothes, the wardrobe, you robe yourself with the appropriate war that you in. So he in this costume, believe in the script, the actor, believe in the script. Now you believe in it because for the last few years, everybody told you how good big shit you is. So now you believe it. And in the process of believing it, that's cool and all until you run into a real motherfucking gangster. And I want y'all to be very clear. Politics is war. These motherfuckers is gangsters in suits. When I go to do business, if I show up with a $5,000 custom suit on, and y'all seen me in them, when I feel like it, when the opportunity and the moment requires it, okay? When I show up in a suit and I'm coming to negotiate, and if I'm dealing with a $5,000 suit, you got to take me a little bit more serious than you just thought I was just a t-shirt wearing motherfucker with the hole in his RV chair. No. No. We're here to do business and talk business. This ain't gonna be the whatever, okay? My point in saying this is he's believing this costume that he's at war and he's this great war general. Bro, Russia could have fucked you up fast. Even today when it was said, that war without, Trump said it, without United States involvement, your shit done in 2 weeks. And he said, oh, I heard 3 days. 3 days. I heard Putin say it. Arrogant. Everybody should read. Listen to what Super Weapons said. Super Weapons with the third $5 super chat. That's the number to beat so far in the sense of the person that's given the most times. Thank you for that. Super chat said everyone should read Provoked by Scott Horton. The U.S. staged a coup on the democratically elected Ukrainian press. Putin isn't the only one to blame here. Read it. Scott Horton's the homie. If y'all aren't following on Twitter, antiwar.com, everybody go to antiwar.com. Scott Horton know his shit. I get around Scott Horton and just be learning shit. I'll start a conversation with Scott just to be like, so what's about this? What about this? What you think about this? Go check that book out. Follow antiwar.com. So all of this materializes. And Zelensky's so used to having that carte blanche and not recognizing that he don't see that the ground is shrinking underneath his feet. He don't see it. And so since he don't see it, he started doing dumb shit, like going into the White House, trying to speak on some shit from 11 years ago when that's not what we're here for. I want y'all to think about the arrogance associated with this. Think about this. Imagine the arrogance. I tweeted this. You campaign for my ops. Your entire nation's survival is dependent on foreign aid. And you've gotten the most money from the country that you're currently in, right? That you're having a discussion about peace. They funded you. They're not even asking you what you did with the money that you got. They just know that you can't win this war. And they low-key recognize that you got a battery put in your back. So they're like, all right, cool, it didn't work. You come there, you try to down talk those folks, bringing up old shit, and you're rude, and there's a peace deal on the table, and now all of the goodwill that you had from the international community is fucking gone. Can you imagine the cocaine-riddled and induced hubris associated with that shit? Think about that. And when I break it down for y'all this way, I'm saying it in simple terms because geopolitics is just like the street. Imagine if you fronted a motherfucker 10 bricks and they owe you, and you ain't even asking them for that money back. But you like, look, you ain't move it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put somebody else on that corner right there. Right? And then they get the audacity. They ain't give you the money or the 10 bricks back. And they get the audacity to tell you about the person that was the kingpin before you did. Did. In the middle of your house that you invited them to. After you knew that they campaigned for your ops. Imagine that. Nobody in this chat right now would ever think to do some wild shit like that. And I've had my wild moments. I've got mad with people that were very generous to me, and I had to check myself. Right? Imagine being that arrogant when the lives of your countrymen and countrywomen are on the fucking line. And there is a killer at the door. And the only thing stopping the killer from 1,000% annihilating you and your crew is some more killers with better weaponry in a relationship with the killer that already don't like you and want to rip your fucking head off. Think about that. Wild. Insane. And that's what we saw today. And that's what we see on the international scale. And the international community is going, all right, bro. America gave $350 billion. All of Europe, the entire continent, collectively, gave about $100 billion. We gave $350. The rest of Europe gave about $100. How fucking dare you? This is the only sentence that main man should have said. He should have said, we are thankful for President Trump attempting to bring peace. The death on both sides can stop. We thank you so much. Nobody would have asked them about the fucking money. BlackRock wouldn't get involved because I saw something floating around. I don't quote me on this part, but I saw something floating around saying that BlackRock and the Parliament of Ukraine is in essence like, listen, bro, we doing this mineral deal and you out. Okay? He coming off like a tyrant because it starts to look like, and I'm not saying this is exactly what it is, but what it looked like to me is, it looked like main man doesn't want peace and he doesn't want democratic elections. It looks like he just wants to be in power because he got a taste of that from the international community for so long. He started buying into and believing his own fucking script. Lila D says, what I'm smoking? No smoking. This is a Nag Champa incense. If y'all ever get a chance, if y'all burn incense, some of y'all that burn incense, this is what I'm burning right now. All right? That Nag Champa, right? Zelensky, there's no more doors for Zelensky. There's no more. And if somebody think I'm wrong, please tell me where I'm wrong in this. Because I know, Maj, you're just a high school dropout that just read a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Big Rob says, I swore I heard JD say, sit your $5 ass down before I make change. Listen, guys, he don't got no more doors. Another thing that I heard, this is heard. All right? 59 people watching on YouTube. Let's get the likes up, Solutionaries. 59 folks. I'm back on the streams, y'all. I think I want to be a YouTube. Being trapped in the RV for this next however many days until we get the goal. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I'm enjoying this. This is my only engagement. I haven't been around humans. I haven't been, you know what I mean? I'm watching DVDs. If y'all see, I got Gladiator on the joint. This is the engagement, and this is the type of content and breakdowns that I want to continue to give y'all. But I can't do this and ignore the work that we got. So we're trying to fundraise so I can get that out the way so we can continue to do this. So guys, please share the live, the stream. Please share as well as give if you can. You know what I'm saying? James A says, love the streams, bro. Keep it coming. I'll take a Black Guns Matter shirt. Guys, if y'all want to support today, there's 15% off the All Gun Controllers racist shirts and the Black Guns Matter shirts. That was like a Black History Month sale. So please, blackgunsmatter.shop. It's the link in all of my bios for all of the stuff that I'm talking about. So I'm just telling y'all, like, there's no, I don't see any other way out. Zelensky was propped up by the U.S. government too. Let's not act like the deep state wasn't involved. Let's not act like it wasn't. Let's not act like there were not unseen hands. Let's not act like it wasn't unseen hands from the American side, especially under the Biden administration. I mean, think about it. What are the chances that Hunter Biden, the president's son, was over there in Ukraine? We all know that it's a hotbed of money laundering political activity. We all know that. He could have tapped out. Nobody was supposed to, would have even asked the questions. You got away. You was the artful dodger. It cost you a lot of countrymen, though. Cost you a lot of death. Cost you a lot of death. And you didn't know when to hold them and when to fold them. And that's, in essence, he just today killed his political career. Now, the conversation about democratically elected public servants. Now, the question about new free and fair elections in Ukraine. You don't want to, you just jumped on an international stage and said, I do not want to negotiate for peace. That is the biggest political blunder that I have seen. In somebody tell me, I don't know if I've ever saw one larger than this. It could have been solved with one sentence and he could have skated off into the sunset and told his people of Ukraine, we fought the good fight. We now need peace. We need the death to end. And he would have got some concessions, but what he tried to say was, well, Putin has been terrorizing us since 2014 in essence, but that wasn't under Trump. And when Trump was in the first time, Ukraine was not invaded. Y'all, you got to get involved civically. I'm telling y'all, this shit too much fun. When you start learning about history and learning, and I'm not a huge fan of international politics, and I'm not a huge fan. I love Scott Horton, and I own most of Scott's books. I haven't got the most recent one, okay? But I own most of Scott's books, okay? Guys, if y'all want to get this shirt, all right, 100% Solutionary is one of our new designs. That's the link to get it. It's all over at the Black Guns Matter website. Bookworm also says, why would he want his gravy train to end, Maj? He doesn't want his gravy train to end because you ever see somebody getting the shit beat out of him by somebody that don't really want to do it to him? But their arrogance and their ego and their false pride makes them try to stay in the fight. It's like, I'm a movie buff. After this tonight, I get to watch movies tonight. It's Friday. I'm going to do some more engagement with y'all. I'm going to try to fundraise. Guys, we need 425 more donors at the $100 level. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Bookworm, can you type that so I can put that up on the screen? I get to chop it up, and I'm going to watch movies, and I'm going to watch Rocky next. Okay? One of my favorite movies is Rocky with Drago. Remember when Apollo wanted to come out of retirement and fight Drago, and it was clear that the towel needed to be thrown in, and he was like, don't throw the towel. All right? He told Rocky, he said, let me put that up there. That's where everybody can go to donate. He said, don't throw the towel. And Stallone, as a fighter, tried to respect it, and he died in the fucking ring. That's Zelensky. He doesn't want the gravy train to end because he doesn't recognize that it's over. Because he's again, he bought into the script. He bought into the script. He's an actor. He's not come out of character. He thinks that he's actually a general. When you got everybody else's money propping you up and shooters from all over, and the wolf that is Russia is not really chomping down on your ass, you get a false sense of security and hope. You really think that that shit is what it is. And it ain't. But he believed it. Again, I'm not being disrespectful. God bless the dead. To Tupac. But Tupac wasn't. Come on, bro. Come on. Tupac was dear mama. He had emotional streaks too. I mean, revolutionary to the core. Mama was a Black Panther. All of that. But Tupac wasn't no really like the fuck bitches. Da 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 da. All of that shit came from his character and juice, and it's that part stayed with him. Drake is like that. Drake, I've always said this. Drake is an actor acting like what he thinks a rapper is supposed to act like. If Drake just rapped and sung, he would be great. But he caught up in the act. You believe the script. Then when you run up against a real fucking rapper, somebody that raps like a Kendrick, you get your face ripped off. This is all the same, y'all. And this is why I keep telling y'all, get involved in politics and civics. Get involved. It's not this. Once you get the history of how things are connected, you start to go, oh, death is death. It's still about money. It's still about violence. After diplomacy fades and fails, it's going to be about that violence. It's going to be about that. And the death is not a good thing. That's what it's going to be. Kawan Calendar says, we die, no wars. Either spot is what I'm assuming that says. America first or we die. And I'm just with that. Vinzinger says, what other DVDs you got? I got a gang of good shit over there, right? I got Ghost. I got all old movies. I like old movies. Ghostbusters 2, 300, Troy. You know what I mean? All of that. I'm telling y'all. Bookworm says money, violence, power, control. Same as the street. This is why I'm telling y'all to get involved in the civics class that we got over at solutionaryuniversity.org. I contend that everybody, listen, I'll do this too, guys. Everybody that donates at the $100 level, we gonna give you a free membership to the Solutionary 9 membership, premium membership, where you get access to all of the classes, the firearms basics, the understanding imminent threat, and the civics class. It's the same. Zelensky doesn't understand the threat that he's in right now because he's been globetrotting around the fucking world taking Vanity Fair cover photos. I'm not making this up. He literally is him and his wife is on the cover of Vanity Fair in the middle of a damn war while his countrymen is dying. They are conscripting. They're literally walking around in the streets, conscripting military-aged men to go fight front line because, like J.D. Vance said, they got a manpower issue. You lost. He don't want the gravy train to end. He got that coke habit. They spent a lot of the money on fucking palaces in Sweden and other places, Denmark. I'm just telling y'all, he that's why he don't want the gravy train to end. And we have to make sure that we're communicating this. And I saw it was a masterful session today in showing the American people like, hell no, we're not doing this. There's nobody, unless they're insane. If they got Ukraine in their bio, like the flag, or I stand with Ukraine and all of that type of shit, right? If they got that in their bio, all right, they're gonna be extreme. But any person that was moderate in any way, shape, or form, that wasn't caught in the cult of Ukraine is our ally, right? Because they're not. Allies and alliances have to be mutually beneficial. There was no benefit. The mineral deal would have been somewhat beneficial for us to break even, maybe over 5 years or so. We're getting some of the minerals back, and we're not spending money over there. That would have been somewhat of us breaking even, but we don't get unless we get with Russia and say, cool, take the motherfuckers over and break us off. We'll fall back since he played himself. We'll fall back. We out of it. And Trump went to Truth Social and said something to that extent. He didn't mention Russia. But what he said was, yo, it's clear that while Zelensky's there, he's not interested. If we're involved, he's not interested because his our involvement makes him think he has a stronger negotiating position than he actually has. And we done. Donatello, it's over, buddy. Trump gave you an out and you didn't take it. I was waiting for JD Vance and Trump to be like, listen here, buddy. Listen here, buddy, is the white guy's version of black dudes, you got me fucked up. I thought JD Vance was gonna be like, listen here, buddy. It's over. It's over. Guys, get involved. Get involved. Communicate these things. If you have an understanding of these things, communicate them simply. No one that taps into the solutionary streams, no one that taps in leaves here feeling like they don't understand what the fuck is happening. This is not complicated. The media and some of the people that want to explain it in a complicated fashion will explain it that way so you don't feel empowered and go, well, shit, that's the same as my local government, and then you get involved. We need more working class. I say regular, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Regular, everyday Americans to get involved in local politics. This goes up this far because we're not stopping the buck on the local level. If you start informing, everybody in here should take the civics class. If you start informing the general public about their power and their ability to just say no to a lot of the shit, like Thomas Massey's doing, no, that's going to add $328 billion deficit to the deficit this year. No, that's not fiscally responsible. Right? Right. Andy Fletcher says, meanwhile, we got Chuck Schumer talking about American boots on the ground. Fuck you, Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer, you should be quiet because your net worth is far beyond your annual salary, brother. So before we start tapping into that, you need to just fall back. Nobody on the American side at this point is overwhelming. We don't want war. We want peace. And you guys got to get involved from a civic perspective and from a political perspective to make sure that this thing doesn't happen again. We are done with the endless wars. We in Syria. We in Yemen. China, we involved in sending some shit over to Taiwan with their struggles with China. Done. We're done. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. My name is Maj Toure. I'm trapped in the RV. 90 days. If you got some value from this, I want y'all to do two things. One, donate to our work. Help get me out of the RV. I'm staying in here until we get our goal. We have a $75,000 donor match. A donor that's going to give us $75,000. Okay? And in the process of giving that $75,000, all of our work is done. All of our work is done. Okay, guys? All of our work is done. With the fundraising part of it. Done. Done, 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 done. You can support by being one of those donors. And in the process of being one of those donors, at the $100 level, we're going to give you access to the Solutionary 9 membership. Maj, IC says, Maj, already donated via GiveSendGo. How do I get the free membership? That's for 100. If you donate over $100, IC, just everybody shoot me your email. If you did it before and you want to get a membership at the $100 level, just shoot me your email or a screenshot of your donation receipt, and I'll send it right over to you. I'll send it right over to you. All right? So that's how you guys can support. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. 400 and I think I said 25 more donors at the $100 level. I get out of the RV. We get a $75,000 donor match, right? We done. We buy the Solutionary Center. We keep the classes going for free. At least we got one location. So that's one area that you guys can support financially. That's the top tier. Next level. Can't donate at the $100 level. Donate $10 or more. We're going to send you a link to 28 days of gun facts. Okay? We're going to send you that for being a $10 or more donor. All right? And you donate $50 or more, we're going to send you access to 2 of the online classes and curriculums. For those of y'all that give more, you get more. So that's the financial pyramid of how you guys can support our work. And outside of that, for the free 99, all right, for free, just repost the work. Repost it to YouTube, get the link, post it to Facebook, Instagram, tag me in it, right? I'll make sure that I repost you. because it's very important, guys. Getting this word out, letting the people know and see that these things are extremely relatable and have an impact on your life. Because some people will say, oh, politics, that don't impact me. But then these same people will be like, God damn, why the price of a steak so high? That's why. That's why. Because you're not involved in civics and politics, and the politicians that know you're not involved, they send $350 billion out of the American situation to other nations. USAID is sending trillions of dollars annually to all these things that have nothing to do with Americans. And then you're impacted from that economically. So again, guys, those are the two areas that you can support, donate, and repost. You donate right there, givesendgo.com/solutionary. Thank you all for tapping in. I'm going to try to do these every night, man. I'm back, man. I'm trapped in the RV. I enjoy engaging with you guys. I'm going to finish watching Gladiator, and I'm going to watch Rocky. And I thank you all for tapping in. My name is Maj Toure, the founder of Solutionary University and BGM. I'll see you all tomorrow. Support the work. Be safe. Be solutionary.